Hey, you guys, it's Life with Nikki Lee podcast. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're doing well and living your fullest every day. So, tonight, I just wanted to come on here real quick, guys, because I know we haven't talked in a while. And, I got to come and check on my people. We got to chit chat and, chat it up a little bit. So, I wanted to come on like a few days ago and talk about that whole Just Hilarious and the Breakfast Club thing. And I'm still, going to touch bases on that a little bit here and there. But tonight, what I really wanted to talk about is like how far is too far with these content creators. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about Funky Dineva. If you are familiar with Funky Dineva, he's been on the scene for a while. He has done a lot of commentary on, different TV shows, Housewives of Atlanta, Love and Hip Hop. He's been on the scene. He's been on that show, Fox Soul, the TGIF on Fox Soul before, he left or whatever. And then ultimately the show was canceled. But he's been making his rounds. And right now he has very active YouTube, which is doing pretty well. He gives a lot of good commentary on that as well. Now, last night, you guys, I was watching him and he was basically firing off on Michelle Atlian, as they call her. They have had an ongoing issue for years. I think for him, he has let it go because these two have a history. And long story short, they used to be great friends. Basically, she rented out a condo to him. He trashed it, and she had to take legal matters into her hands. Stuff got really ugly between them. And long story short, she felt like he just didn't respect her. She felt like he disrespected her. He trashed her place, her name, all this and all that. And then not to mention those horrible rumors that was going on about her and her, physical hygiene and whatnot. It's just really messy, y'all. So he was already kind of, in a mood about that. And then he completely shocked everybody when he started talking about Tasha K. And he flat out threatened the girl on the live and pretty much threatened to, smack her up when he sees her because he felt some kind of way about her, playing in his face, as he said, saying things about him, but then trying to come around him and act like she wants to be friends. Now, I will say this, sometimes I just don't feed into the YouTube scene that much with the content creators. Some of them do make some good content, and I do like to chime in when I feel like having, just want to be entertained, having a good laugh and all those things. But you guys, come on. Sometimes it's a little bit much. Now, what I did want to talk about real quick before I get into finish talking about that whole situation with Funky Dineva, I want to talk about the situation with Just Hilarious and the Breakfast Club that occurred last week. Now, as you all know, she had that situation going on where she basically felt like she was being undermined by, the staff, and just telling everybody, hey, I went out on maternity leave. I came back. Lauren's here. What's going on? Y'all are switching things up. Nobody's telling me anything. She felt some kind of way. Basically, they all, took it to the air to air out their discrepancies. And there was kind of like, a heated exchange. And things got kind of tense for a moment. First things first, let me just say this. Just having her baby and stepping out on maternity leave, a woman's biological clock is going to happen when it happens. If she wants to have a baby, that's her God-given right to have a baby. She probably wasn't expecting things to happen as fast as it did, But around this time, that's when she, got this job. And then, of course, when you're bringing another life into this world and you're responsible for, basically trying to get yourself through this pregnancy, it's important that you are as less stressed as possible. I remember that some of the things that I went through when I was pregnant with my son. I worked on up until the day before I went into labor, you guys. And let me tell you, that was stressful like you would not believe. And it puts an immense amount of stress on you as a woman. And so maternity leave is very much necessary, because I remember when I had my kid, I had ended up having a C-section. And then on top of that, as opposed to being out for at least 12 weeks, I was only out for 5 weeks. I didn't even really have that much time to enjoy my baby and heal up the way I wanted to. And I just never forgot the feeling behind that, because I was working in this really busy, high-strung clinic, and it was just so much going on. And I just remember I always felt tired, like I never had enough sleep, and it was just exhausting. So I can understand why it's so important for women to have that time and step out on maternity leave and, get the things that they need. So to walk out from that and to come back in from having a brand new baby, your hormones are still trying to, get it together with your body. And then you step into a stressful, basically a stress-induced work environment. Nobody needs that. And I just felt like Charlemagne was kind of being, I hate to say it like this, but he was kind of being a messy ass bitch. Like, I felt like he knew about majority of the stuff that was happening there. He wasn't giving her a heads up. I don't like the way they handled that. I'll be honest with you. I don't like the way they treated Jess Hilarious. I felt like they were trying to put her and Lauren against each other, and it was just childish. Now, I'm sure now things are, cooler heads are settling and it's okay, but you got to be careful how you treat people in workspaces, because people never forget how you make them feel. Like, they never forget how you make them feel. And some people were saying that they felt like this was done for clout, whatever the case may be. But I just kind of felt like, they were kind of jaw-janking her a little bit, because Angela Yee was with that same crew for 13 years and she up and left. And of course she spoke well and, departed ways, but it's hard to be a woman on a show with 2 men and you feel like you have to fight for your spot. And then you have these 2 guys, you have the adjudicated, the apist. I can't say the whole word. You have this adjudicated apist, Charlemagne, and then you have the scammer, DJ Envy. They do something, they're not looked at for anything, but it's like women come on the scene, they're scrutinized for everything. You want to play all these mental obstacle courses, putting them against other women, and it's just such bullshit. And I just really didn't like it. I really didn't appreciate it. And honestly, though, I kind of feel like it was a teachable moment for Jess, because she kind of needed to learn these are not the people that you think you know. Because I think when she came in, Jess was kind of like that person she's quick to take the male's point of view. And then she got put in a situation where she saw that her femininity was not appreciated and basically, almost mocked. Like, if you have a spot, it's supposed to be a guaranteed spot at a job, why are they putting you up against someone else and making you feel like you guys have to kind of be at odds with each other? It's weird. It's weird. I just don't like it when people do that, because men don't do that to each other at the job. But for some reason, it's like when you got 2, headstrong Black women in the place, it's like, it's almost like they try to put them against each other. And I just think that's such a damn It's just it's a mess. It's like a circus. I hate that. I hate it when people, don't appreciate strong, opinionated Black women and they try to put us against each other. I think it's absolute bullshit. But wishing both ladies the best. Lauren, she's a very smart young lady. She has her head on straight. I know that she's going to continue to do big things, and I wish the best for Jess. So those are just my 2 cents on it. Now, getting back to the whole situation with these content creators with Funky Dineva, Michelle ATL, and Tasha K, those people. Sometimes, you guys, as content creators, stuff goes a little far. And me personally, hearing Funky saying that when he sees Tasha K, he's going to walk up to her, throw up his set, and slap the out of her. I said, wow. He said he's going to slap her, then he's going to fight her husband. I said, now, Funky, this is not evolved behavior. I get it. People get tired of getting played with, but I'm like, Funky, you're the same person. You sat there, you had so much critique for Armand with that situation that happened at TGIF before that show was canceled. You had so much to say. But it's just like, you got to also remember, you have to keep your head calm and you have to keep everything leveled with yourself, because you have a platform as well. You have to be responsible. And at the end of the day, is content creating and getting clicks and views, is that worth you compromising your well-being? Absolutely not. I understand, clicks and views must be made because bills got to be paid, but you have to find a fine line where it's not going to go beyond commentary. Like, I know sometimes people will try you, they will piss you off, they will make you feel some type of way, but you got to learn not to let people drag you into that space where you are no longer yourself. And Funky, sorry, it's not me laughing at him, but it's just the stuff he was saying about Michelle ATL. Like, the girl, apparently, they said she got a smell to her. Like, I don't know what's up with that, but more than one person has said it. And she has been going around still talking about when he, messed up the condo that she rented to him and all these things. And I just sitting there thinking to myself, I was just like, okay, are y'all going to sit down and hash this out, or y'all just going to fight it out in the street? Well, I mean, like this, some cooler heads must prevail here. Somebody has to get along with the other. We can't keep doing this, folks. We can't keep going back and forth with this. It's just, I understand sometimes people, and maybe it's just for clout. Maybe he's not going to do anything. Maybe it's just that they're doing this for, getting to, get their views up. I don't know. There's always a good thing in having a lot of viewership, but sometimes I think people will set the bar in hell to get that viewership. And I'm sorry. It was just like, at a certain point, it's just no longer worth it. When your personal integrity is being compromised and you feel like you got to throw up a set and go whoop somebody's ass. I'm sorry. Like, what are we doing here? Like, YouTube is supposed to be entertaining, and, we all tune in, we all listen, we all want the latest gossip. But my question is this. You all make a living off of talking about people. So why does it, sting so hard to the point where you can't take it when someone starts talking about you? Eventually the chickens will come home to roost. Like, these content creators, they will get up there and they will say a lot of stuff about these celebrities, but it's like, when their personal business hits the spot, when it hits the internet or whatever, it affects them in a really big way. Now, I know in the past that Funky Dineva has had issues with, you know, substance abuse and things like that, and that's no laughing matter. I really don't like the fact that Michelle put him out there like that, because he was really suffering and going through a hard time with that. And I mean, I know there have been times when he has apologized, and she just kind of kept poking the bear throughout the years. So I understand why he got upset. And you know, Tasha K being Tasha K, she's always going to piggyback and you know, post stuff and try to be micro aggressive, and it's just super weird. I don't know, but it's just like when your personal life gets talked about and put on Front Street, it's like you don't want to, you know, you don't want to accept it. And I'm like, essentially, all of you guys are just doing the same thing. So it's like when it comes back to you, you really, I know it's going to be upsetting, but it's just like you really can't be surprised about it, you know? But let me know what you guys are thinking about this whole stuff with content creators. Do you think it's all made up? Do you think that, you know, behind the scenes they go talk and they have these little fake beefs that they're going to start so they can get their viewership up? You know, that could be a thing. It could be possible. What do you think about content creating these days? Do you think it's just a bootleg version of journalism? Do you find it entertaining at all? Leave your comments down below. This is Nikki Lee signing out, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.